Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Jennifer Gunter, and today I'm bringing you something truly transformative, especially if you or someone you love is living with diabetes. For over 20 years, I've worked with patients navigating the complexities of chronic conditions like diabetes. I've seen firsthand how medication plays a role, yes, but I've also seen something even more powerful: the effect of natural foods and herbs on the human body. Today, I want to talk to you about two often overlooked natural ingredients that can offer real support for people living with blood sugar issues. These are not miracle pills, not trendy supplements, but ancient, accessible, and proven herbs, gifts from nature that could help balance blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and protect vital organs from long-term damage. We're not here for quick fixes. We're here to build strength, knowledge, and daily habits that support real healing. So grab a warm drink, settle in, and most importantly, bring your curiosity, because this might just be the moment that shifts your health in the right direction. Let's begin. 1. Amaranth, the ancient seed with modern power. When most people think of managing diabetes, their minds jump straight to cutting sugar or carbs. That's important, of course, but let me ask you something deeper. What are you adding to your diet that truly supports your body? Let me introduce you to a humble seed called amaranth. Don't let its size fool you. This grain, once cherished by the Aztecs, has quietly earned the attention of modern scientists who are now calling it one of the most promising plant-based tools for people with blood sugar issues. Why? Because amaranth isn't just food, it's function, it's fiber, it's fuel. Amaranth is packed with plant-based protein, high levels of magnesium, iron, and most crucially, fiber. And fiber is one of our greatest allies when it comes to balancing blood sugar. It slows down digestion, flattens post-meal glucose spikes, and supports a more stable insulin response throughout the day. In my years of clinical observation, the patients who embraced high-fiber ancient grains like amaranth often reported smoother energy, fewer cravings, and better glucose readings. This seed becomes a stabilizer, not just in numbers, but in how the body feels throughout the day. One study from the Journal of Food Science and Nutrition found that regular consumption of amaranth significantly lowered post-meal blood glucose levels while improving overall metabolic health. That means less stress on the pancreas and more stability in your blood sugar rhythm. And you know what's just as exciting? This food is completely natural, gluten-free, and remarkably versatile, but we'll get to that part soon. Let's look deeper into why this grain is having such a profound impact, not only in research labs, but in real lives. 2. Fighting inflammation from the inside out. One of the most dangerous things about diabetes isn't just the sugar in the blood. It's the hidden inflammation that sugar leaves behind. It damages the lining of blood vessels. It affects nerves, kidneys, eyes, and even the brain. But amaranth doesn't just help stabilize glucose, it helps combat the damage caused by elevated sugar. Amaranth contains powerful antioxidants. These compounds actively reduce oxidative stress, one of the leading factors in the progression of diabetes complications. A key study from the International Journal of Molecular Sciences revealed that the antioxidants in amaranth help protect pancreatic beta cells, the very cells responsible for producing insulin. Just let that sink in for a moment. While other foods may slowly chip away at your health, this little grain could be supporting the actual cells that help regulate blood sugar. Now, I've seen this happen in practice. One of my long-term patients, a woman in her early 60s, had been battling post-meal blood sugar spikes for years. We introduced amaranth into just 2 meals a week. Within 1 month, she saw her glucose levels start to flatten. But more than that, she felt different. Less brain fog, more energy, fewer midday crashes. This is why I urge you to stop thinking of food only as calories, and instead see it as a form of daily medicine. because that's exactly what it is. And this medicine doesn't have to be hard to find or expensive to prepare. Let's explore just how easy it is to use amaranth in your meals and what to expect when you do. 3. Simple ways to eat amaranth and feel the difference. I always say the best health habits are the ones you can actually stick with. That's why I love recommending amaranth. It fits into your life with almost no friction. You can boil it like rice, pop it like popcorn, grind it into flour, or stir it into soups. It adapts, and it doesn't demand fancy recipes, just a little creativity and consistency. Start small. Just 1 or 2 tablespoons added to a meal. That's enough to begin shifting your fiber intake, stabilizing blood sugar, and boosting your mineral levels, especially magnesium, which is another silent powerhouse when it comes to insulin sensitivity. A study published in Diabetes Care showed that individuals with higher magnesium intake had better fasting glucose levels and more efficient insulin activity. And guess what? Amaranth is one of the best natural sources of magnesium you can find. Let me walk you through a simple breakfast I often recommend to my patients. Cooked amaranth porridge with a sprinkle of cinnamon and a few walnuts. That's it. No added sugar. No crash. Just warmth, fiber, protein, and blood sugar stability. It's a small shift with a big ripple effect. Another idea? Add popped amaranth to your yogurt or smoothie. It adds a nutty texture, boosts your mineral intake, and helps you feel full longer. And if you're someone who struggles with energy dips after meals, this is where you'll notice the biggest change. That bloated, heavy, sleepy feeling, it starts to fade. What takes its place is smoother, more sustained energy. But amaranth isn't just working on your glucose. It's also supporting tissue repair, calcium absorption, and immune health, thanks to its lysine content, an essential amino acid rarely found in grains. So with every spoonful, you're not just feeding hunger, you're supporting your body's natural recovery systems. But what if I told you there's another ingredient, an herb in fact, that's hiding in your spice rack and could be just as powerful? Let's shift to part 2 of this journey and meet the second herb that's changing the lives of people managing diabetes, rosemary. 4. Rosemary, the hidden ally in your kitchen. Let's take a moment and open your spice drawer. Among the oregano, thyme, and bay leaves, there's one herb that might look ordinary but holds extraordinary power: rosemary. Most people think of rosemary as a flavor enhancer, a nice touch on roasted potatoes or baked chicken. But what if I told you that rosemary is one of the most underrated natural allies in supporting blood sugar balance? Let me say that again. Not just a seasoning, but a therapeutic tool. Recent studies have begun to uncover what traditional medicine has known for centuries. Rosemary is much more than meets the eye. It contains carnausic acid and rosmarinic acid, 2 compounds with powerful effects on insulin sensitivity, inflammation, and oxidative stress. In the Journal of Medicinal Food, researchers found that rosemary extract significantly reduced blood glucose levels in animal models. Even more impressive, it showed potential in protecting pancreatic cells from damage, the very cells responsible for insulin production. So while you're sprinkling it on dinner, rosemary is working inside your body to ease inflammation and support your insulin response. Let me tell you a quick story. A gentleman in his 70s came to me, frustrated by his daily sugar swings despite eating carefully. When we looked deeper, his meals were low in sugar, but also low in supportive herbs and fiber. We added a rosemary tea before lunch and dinner, and within weeks, his post-meal spikes began to flatten. He felt sharper, more alert, less exhausted. Sometimes the smallest shifts bring the biggest results. Let's look closer at how rosemary works and what else it can do beyond blood sugar. 5. Rosemary's wide reach: liver, brain, and immune support. You've probably heard of the liver as a detox organ, but did you know it plays a direct role in blood sugar regulation? The liver stores glucose and releases it when needed, but in people with diabetes, the liver often becomes sluggish or dysregulated, releasing too much sugar or failing to respond to insulin signals. That's where rosemary steps in. According to phytotherapy research, rosemary extract helped regulate liver enzyme levels and improve glucose metabolism in diabetic rats. These findings are promising because they suggest rosemary helps the liver respond more appropriately to insulin cues. And that's just the beginning. Rosemary also contains compounds that support brain health, which is especially important for people with long-term diabetes, since high blood sugar can affect memory, focus, and even mood. A study in the European Journal of Nutrition suggested rosemary's antioxidants may protect neurons and improve cognitive performance, particularly in older adults. Think about it. One simple herb that helps with blood sugar, inflammation, liver function, and brain health. It's not just helpful, it's holistic. But here's where rosemary really becomes special. It's also antimicrobial. That means it can help reduce the risk of certain infections, something people with diabetes are more vulnerable to, especially in the feed and urinary tract. In one patient of mine who experienced frequent UTIs, we introduced rosemary into her routine, both through food and tea, and alongside medical treatment, she saw significant improvement in frequency and severity. Nature offers us tools. Our job is to use them wisely. 6. How to use rosemary effectively in daily life. Here's where most people get stuck. They hear something is good, but they don't know how to use it consistently. So let's keep this practical. Fresh rosemary is wonderful, but dried rosemary is just as effective and often easier to store and use. Both forms retain the plant's medicinal compounds, so choose whichever works for your kitchen. Here are some ways I personally recommend using rosemary. Sprinkle it on roasted vegetables or meats. Steep it as a tea before meals, especially lunch or dinner. Blend it into olive oil for an infused dressing or marinade. Add it to soups or stews for a warm herbal depth of flavor. Some of my patients enjoy a simple ritual, rosemary tea with lemon in the evening. They say it helps them unwind and avoid late-night cravings, and science may back this up. Rosemary appears to influence appetite-regulating hormones, helping reduce sugar cravings. That means you're not just resisting snacks, you're rebalancing your internal signals. If you're someone who battles that constant temptation to snack or feels out of control around sweets, rosemary might be your gentle ally. Imagine replacing those late-night snacks with a warm cup of rosemary tea, calming your nervous system and stabilizing your glucose at the same time. We often chase the perfect diet plan, but sometimes it's about adding just one reliable habit, and rosemary might be that habit for you. 7. A herb for the heart, rosemary and circulation. Let's talk about another organ that's deeply affected by diabetes but often overlooked, your heart. High blood sugar can damage blood vessels and increase the risk of heart disease. But rosemary, with its blend of anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds, may offer protection here too. Research suggests that rosemary may help reduce LDL cholesterol, improve circulation, and enhance blood vessel function. All of this is critical for people managing diabetes, since cardiovascular issues are a common and dangerous complication. Better circulation also means faster healing, more energy, and fewer long-term complications. It's easy to underestimate a spice, but rosemary isn't just seasoning, it's a system supporter, a quiet protector of organs that work behind the scenes to keep you well. The more I study this herb, the more respect I have for it. And when combined with healthy meals and good habits, its effects are amplified. So why do we overlook it? I think sometimes we assume healing needs to be complicated or expensive. But rosemary shows us the opposite. Healing can be simple. Healing can grow in a small pot by your window. You just have to begin. 8. Final thoughts and practical next steps. Let's take a breath and bring everything together. We've talked about amaranth, a grain that stabilizes blood sugar, supports the pancreas, and delivers vital nutrients like magnesium and lysine. And we've explored rosemary, an herb that lowers glucose, protects the liver and brain, and enhances circulation and appetite balance. But none of this matters if we don't act. So here's my advice to you, not as a researcher, but as a doctor who truly cares. Pick one small thing from today's video and try it this week. Maybe it's replacing white rice with cooked amaranth in one meal. Maybe it's brewing a rosemary tea before lunch. Maybe it's just buying these 2 ingredients and putting them on your counter as a reminder. Healing starts with intention, then repetition, and then results. You don't have to overhaul your whole life in a day, but you can take that first step and then another, and before long, you'll notice something remarkable. Your body beginning to work with you, not against you. If you've watched this far, I want to thank you. From one human to another for choosing your health. That matters. You matter. Here's my gentle reminder for today. Health isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about building the life you want. Vibrant, energized, connected, and full of moments you can enjoy. And that life often starts in the kitchen with the small choices you make daily. So if this video gave you something valuable, please do me a favor. Click the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, which herb surprised you the most, amaranth or rosemary? And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the videos that could change the way you eat, move, and heal. Stay curious, stay committed, stay kind to your body, and I'll see you in the next video.